Good morning, my woolly friends. At least I think it's still morning. Peter and I have been down a rabbit hole all morning on rug hooking, so we got to get our brains adjusted back to wool, which it's still in the same family because it was 100% wool yarn. So, well, we are ready to talk about July's mug mat. And I have a hole here because I did finish last month's and I forgot to bring it. I thought, oh, I'm done with it. I can just put it out, whatever. Should have brought it, just put it right here. But I will get that done for next month. So this month is for July. I got to get my brain going that in June we do July's. So you'll have it for next month. Here's your pattern. And it is a fun sheep, a little patriotic sheep. And it has a very interesting little bit of embroidery here on the arc, which we'll talk about. So when you get your kit, and we'll probably get these out yet this week, this is what you'll be getting. And again, I'll brag on Deborah, she's put all your colors together. This back piece, the bigger black, is your backing, your wool felt. Then you have your background. Here's the two colors for your sheep. These three are for his blanket and the flag. And I think that's it. So there's not a lot of wool. There's not a lot of pieces. Like here in May, we had all that wool for all those flowers. So this month is, thankfully, it's in the middle of summer, so it's fairly easy. And this is how it comes out. And it was really fun. I did this on vacation, but then I saved the embroidery for when I came home because I was looking at it going, okay, that's a really complicated, in my brain, embroidery. But honestly, the hardest part is keeping your little loops even. And so what I did, the white is just a back stitch on your arc. And then you take your blue thread, you'll do one color at a time, and you just go in and out, and you make these little loops. If you make them too big, they slide all around, and I had to keep downsizing them, which I mean, there's a few that I could probably continue to adjust, and you can. Then you do the same thing with the red, but you start on the opposite side. So you just make these little loops up and down, and it makes it look really cool, like you really spend a lot of time on it, which it does take some time, but it turned out really neat. So I did have a question on the last video on putting it all together and finishing it up at the end. So I've done all my work on the front, and stab myself with a needle. I've done all my appliquing. I've done all my embroidery. So you'll continue to adjust those little circles. And now it's time to put your back on to cover up all your stitching. So what I did is I just laid my two pieces down and I used the Wonder Clips to clip them together. You can use pins if you want to, but Wonder Clips are easier. Like I just stabbed myself with my needle, and you won't do that if you have the Wonder Clips. If you do pins, you'll risk getting stabbed by your pins. So you can put as many around as you want to. I just used 4 to hold the 2 ends in the center. So all you're going to do is blanket stitch the 2 pieces together. And I will go ahead, I left some undone for you so I could show you. Okay, so I have already started. I started down here at the bottom and have come all the way around. But all you're going to do is a bigger blanket stitch. And you don't want great big huge stitches, but you want them enough to where it's going to hold it. And what I have found that if you go in at an angle, you're going to be coming up shorter on the back. So if you go straight down with your needle, you have your loop back here. And you're just going to pull up your floss and kind of pull it tight. And then you're going to go on to do your next one. And you're going to kind of judge the distance, and as you get going, you'll get to be a pretty good judge that they're evenly spaced and that your stitches are all the same size. So you're just going to pull it through. Got a little knot in my thread. And make sure, like here, I don't have my floss through the loop, so that's just not going to do me any good. But then you'll see how it puts the stitch here along the back, and I always try to line those up, so I kind of tug my floss back just a little bit so that it's going to lay right there on that edge. And this is good to do when you're watching TV or sitting out on your patio or wherever you like to do your handwork. Me, sometimes it's on the patio, sometimes it's in the evening watching TV, which last night, that's what I did. I finished up last month's rug and got this week's this far. So you just continue to do your blanket stitch, which it's just the same stitch that you've been doing around all your applique pieces, unless you're doing a whip stitch. And either stitch is fine on your applique. They tell you that is to either whip stitch or blanket stitch. I personally like the blanket stitch because it shows I stitched around everything, and it just gives it a better, in my opinion, look to it. But it's whatever you want. The bad thing about the Wonder Clips is it gives it something for your floss to get tangled up in, so I kind of move mine around as I need to, just to keep it free. Oops. And I do tend to unthread my needle. So that's going to give you, it's going to put your back onto your front, and then as I finish these last few stitches, then my mat is done and it's ready to be displayed or used or whatever you decide to do. Okay, the question was just raised. Can you glue baste your back to the front? And I said absolutely not. Because if you know the word baste, basting is temporary. So if you did, it would be temporary. And I'm sure none of you would ever do that. And can you use regular glue? I would not, because it might bleed through. It would make your edges hard when the glue dried. Just get your needle and thread out and stitch it. That's what it's all about. That's why we're doing this, because we love stitching. We love learning new things. And the person who asked that question learned something. So we are off to, let's see, August will be our next one. And I'll give you a little hint. That has, what does that have? Deborah, what's August? Oh, it has a flower and it has a bug. There you go. So I have so many in my head. September's really fun because it's got a schoolhouse in it. So it just goes with each month, and I am definitely enjoying these. Like Deborah has a puzzled look on her face. There's times when I get involved in all my other projects and I come up to the last week of my video and I'm frantically putting these together so they don't take long. I always tell myself, why did you wait so long? It does not take that long. So just do, like on vacation, I did June and July. I got all the applique done on those. The only thing I had to do was the embroidery arc. What did I do? I waited till the night before my video to finish this one up.
The night before the test.
Yep, I love to procrastinate, but I get it done. The pressure's on. So, and I know that's what I have to work on at that time, so nothing else can be worked on, although I did get these done in time that I did get to cross stitch a little bit. So, I hope you're enjoying these mats. I'm kind of thinking about the next one, the next what's my word? My next project. There we go. When we get done with the mats, if you have some ideas, let me know. Things you want to do. I'm not 100% sold on what I would like to do, what's in my head, but I'm open to suggestions. So I have plenty of time to research it, investigate it, figure out how we can do it, and we can get it done for the next thing. So
would quilt blocks be too far of a stretch?
what do you mean a quilt block? With the applique, kind of like Birdie's Year?
Kind of like where, like Fig Tree will sometimes do those wool quilt blocks where it's those shapes are stitched together, but then they're put on a cotton background and then you sew them together, something like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if the people will like that though.
Birdie's Year was that way because we took the wool and
Yeah.
appliqued it onto the flannel, and then there was a quilt block around it, and then we put it into a quilt if that's what they wanted to do, or they could have done them individually, monthly. So there were options on that one. If you chose just a quilt, then there would not be options.
Yeah.
So, but let me know what you want to do. I want to do what you want to do, and we can explore all this and have fun together. So have a great day. It's a perfect day to sit outside and stitch if you're able to.
Happy 4th of July.
Not yet.
Are we going to have a new video by then?
No. But
Okay,
okay.
happy 4th of July. I'm thinking ahead,
Peter,
see?
he is.
You got the patriotic sheep, man.
Yep, we got the sheep for July 4th.
Happy 4th of July in June.
You put your it's like Christmas in July. I should be doing December in July. So I get to start playing Christmas music here July 1st, so I'm excited.
You know, why are we waiting? Did you know the authorities aren't here?
They are.
And they weren't here yesterday.
Peter, don't tell them my secret.
We can listen to Dominic the Italian
We
Donkey.
can. We're bad. When, truly the statement, when the cat's away, the mice will play. We are doing our work, but we are playing. So, but we play when they're here. So it's all good. All right. Well, enjoy your day and enjoy stitching, and be looking for your patriotic sheep in the mail. Should be coming out in the next couple days. Lisa and Deborah will get those out to you. So if you have any questions, suggestions, please put them in the box. There was a suggestion on the, and I'd forgotten about this, the press and seal, to use a silver Sharpie, because that will show up on your black also. Probably better than black on black. I've not had any trouble with the black on black, but the silver Sharpie, that was a great idea. I had forgotten about that because I didn't have one, so I wasn't using it. So we like to share suggestions. I don't know everything. There are people out there who know more than I do, who have done this longer than I do. Virginia, don't look at me like that. So we like those suggestions so that we can share them. There's always different ways to do the same thing. I need to hear that as much as everybody else does. So, put those in the comments on the video and we'll share those. If you need help and we can do it through a video, that's great. If not, give me a call here at the shop and I'll either talk you through it or make an appointment with you and we can get together here at the shop. So have a great stitchy day and we'll see you next month.